Hi guys, we are once again reading from my Light Visions tarot deck, and I know that I have said many times before that I would definitely work on my schedule, but they actually just kind of sporadically changed my schedule at work during the new moon. Go figure. So we're gonna work with what we got. I worked a 7-day week, and I'm a little tired. I'm a little burnt out, but I'm gonna still play some Starfield tonight and get down on some Twitch. Just FYI, if you want to catch me. But let's get a little fresh reading because we just had this new moon. I think it was like a few days ago, but regardless, we still have this fresh new energy coming in. It doesn't really matter when exactly the new moon passed. New moon means new energy, new opportunities. And if you watch my TikTok at all, I'm doing a fresh reading. I usually do like hand-in-hand readings so you can get like a longer version on YouTube. But I don't really think a whole lot of people travel from TikTok to YouTube anyway. So if you do, put a comment down so I can know. And then I'll at least work something out so you guys can get longer readings. But really, this energy is going to come through the same way. It's going to find its way too, trust me. Yeah, but like, we've been preparing for 2024 for like since October. At least I hope you have. Because 2023 was a very wild ride for like everybody. So there was a lot of turmoil, there was a lot of conflict, and a lot of clearing out old karmic baggage and making room for new opportunities. We have to get rid of the old to make room for the new. That is really the message. That's like the entire message of the new moon. Like the new moon is here to show you that new cycles exist. If we can reflect on the moon cycles more as humanity, we'll realize how much like the energies, like little, like physical, like literal physical energies have effect on us. Like literally magnetism matters. I'm gonna make that a t-shirt. Magnetism matters, okay? It really does, because when we understand that like the new cycle is very, like the new moon is very reflective of what's going on in our immediate life. Like our light source, the way planets align, like astrology is real. I am not an astrology expert, I know I'm wearing this dress, but you know, it's still very prevalent in my life to understand these things. I would probably take up some more studies. There's a lot to learn about spirituality and astrology and alchemy and all of these things, hermeticism, the occult, witchcraft. So there's a lot to take in, and don't feel like you need to learn everything or know everything in order to understand the universe. You just have to understand the basics, and the rest will try to make itself make sense. So you don't have to do all like the studying and all of this hard extra work and fit it all in your brain somehow. Like, even if you tried to, I don't think you could be an expert at everything. Some people are, who knows. There's a lot of different types of divination though, just FYI, before you tap in all of that. There's a lot to take in. So, just focus on one skill and let that skill flourish. Like, if you want to do tarot readings, or if you want to be an astrology expert, or if you want to be like a journalist or a podcaster or just an influencer of some sort, like make whatever it is your main drive, because when you focus energy, it amplifies it. And that goes for anything, and that's like something we know without a spiritually informed or spiritually aware. Like we know that happens either way. Like when we focus on one specific thing, I mean, like, and put like all of our effort into something, you know, even if we don't get it right the first time, it's gonna find its way to, we're gonna perfect it. We're gonna find ways to get better at something through experience, because again, nobody just goes into anything just being a complete expert at anything. Like literally, that's the message. Like, don't put all this weight on your shoulder that you have to do all this studying, have to figure all these things out, have to know all of the details in order to be an expert and be like respected or understood as, you know, somebody who is somebody that you can trust for this information. Okay, because that won't really matter. Like, it really won't. Like, it's really about your aptitude and your attitude to inform yourself of more skills and utilize new skills. So with that being said, eventually these cards will come out. I think I'm just shuffling them too freaking much. We have like this like lover twin flame energy. I don't like to talk about twin flames too much because I just feel like people who fixate on twin flames, they end up kind of doing a little bit more harm to themselves and their connection, because they become obsessed over having a perfect person. And you know what? Like, people have like this hard awakening when they realize that their twin flame is not a perfect person. They are somebody who's gone through a lot of conflict, a lot of turmoil, and usually your paths mirror each other in very amplifying ways. And unless you do the inner work, like, honestly, those connections don't matter. Like, unless you guys both, not just one of you, both, and separately, on your own paths, your own journey, unless y'all do that, it's never going to work out the way you expect it to. Sorry. So don't try to obsess. I'm sorry, I have puppies in the house. They're being rambunctious, if you heard that. Yeah, don't put all this weight on your shoulders to have everything figured out or have everything work out in a specific way. Like, don't be daydreaming. I know that we get into this attitude, especially when we're like empaths and we're spiritual creatures and we know everything connects. Like, we feel like we're in a fairy tale. We get like way too aroused by the euphoria. And those things are actually a lot more detrimental to your well-being, first of all, but also just like detrimental to where that journey goes. Because if you obsess over something, you try to make it work, you try to force things, that's when conflict occurs. Like, you can't force things to work out. Okay. So with that being said, we have the Lovers card. I know, what a twist. It's like, why was I talking about all of that? Yes, we got the Lovers card. That's the first card that we got here. So finding these connections, and searching for them, it's not gonna bring this energy back. If you already know who your twin flame is anyway, like, don't obsess over that person. Don't obsess over the ideas. Don't obsess over the conflicts. Just work on your own journey. Like, honestly, things fall into place in their own ways. Like, if you're just like waiting for somebody to text you, waiting for somebody to hit you up, waiting, life is going to pass you by, and that's why the universe tests you. That's why the universe makes you focus on your own path. So you'll be hit with this twin flame thing, this soulmate thing, and it'll put all of these ideas in your head, and then your world will crumble in a lot of really good ways, in a very conflicting ways, because there's going to be some destruction happening of your old paradigm, your old ways of thinking, forcing things, wanting things to go a certain way, wanting people to understand you on a very deep level. Those things will happen sometimes in their own way, but like wanting to force it, wanting things to go a certain way, it's just not healthy for your mental health. And there's a lot of reasons why, and I know that you can think of a couple on your own, so let's just not get into that. But we have the Three of Chalices, the Three of Cups here. So like friendship, synchronicity, shared experiences, going through this experience will help you see a lot more about who you are, where you want to be, who you want to be affiliated with, who you don't want to be affiliated with, and you know where your journey is going to take you. So having like these stronger connections, letting go of old things, letting go of old people, places, things, like those things will help reveal and renew your energy and your soul, so you can find something that is more fitting to who you are, so you don't have like this anxious anxiety. Like, we get so overburdened trying to fit into other people's bubbles, even if we don't think that we're doing that consciously. Subconsciously we're doing it all the time, because that's how we are trained as from the get-go. Like, we're trained to copy and mirror and just follow the path of everyone around us, because we are still figuring things out. Please excuse me while I drink this I have 3 puppies. I need an energy drink today, not water, but drink your water, okay? But yeah, so this is some really great energy for you to find yourself. Like the self love and the self care will come through in a much more like natural way when you realize that there are better connections that you can, fulfill yourself with. Like these better, stronger connections will help you get a better sense of reality, and that you don't have to fit into the other people's paradigms. You don't have to fit yourself into a friendship. Like if things are conflicted and you have to be small around somebody, that is a red flag that you need to find another group, another person. You need to cut those people off. You need to just like, you don't even have to necessarily cut them off, but some of us do because of our attachments to people, places, and things. It's not that big of a deal. It's okay. Pat yourself on the back. You still got this. But we do need to cut some people off sometimes. But sometimes you can just let people drift apart. But really put your boundaries up. That is the message. Put your boundaries up. Detach from things that don't serve you. But that's not the focus here. We have done the work. So this is where your reading is coming through to tell you that. You have the Eight of Pentacles here too, so really like when you're letting go of old connections and you're allowing yourself to have healthier connections, healthier boundaries, like healthy boundaries, not those like sporadic, chaotic ones where they're just not realistic, okay? You know who I'm talking to. But we have, yeah, the Eight of Pentacles here. So this energy is renewing. It's going to show you a lot of success coming from your hard work. See how she's like, she's not even sowing seeds. We sowed the seeds last week. We sowed the seeds like those last few years of where we want to be because we were figuring it out. It takes years to figure things out, by the way. Like I said at the beginning of this video, nobody goes into anything like as an expert. We develop skills over time through experience. So give yourself room to grow. Okay? Give yourself room and time to grow. Eight of Pentacles. So watering these visions through affirmations and action, those things are really going to amplify your manifestations. It's going to show you your growth. It's going to show you your skills too. Like see how she has these fruits above the tree too? I think in that last card, there's no fruit in the tree. There might be. I don't know for certain, but I don't think there is. But anyway, so we have the fruit in the tree. We have the flowers blossoming and growing. She's watering all of her magic through action and affirmations. So it's not just about talking about it. It's also about doing about it. Okay? It's also about doing about it. Real phrase, but we have here also we have the Two of Wands. So really looking behind and seeing where you came from is going to show you where you are right now and the reasons why you did have to get rid of a lot of those things, because sometimes it's really hard to see why we need to get rid of things because we're really caught up in the present or we're caught up in the past. But when we start to realize and we take some more solitude, really is where it comes through, and we have much more time to think and process things and face our emotions, face our weaknesses, face. I did say fake. Wow. Did you hear that? Face your consequences. Face your consequences, because I know, baby. Some of these consequences of our actions, they are detrimental to a lot of connections, but sometimes we have to realize that, even when we do make mistakes, things do kind of work out the way that they're supposed to. And it's still an opportunity to grow and learn on how to like communicate better, how to be better, and how to work on ourselves and the future that we want to create. Because those things, like when we sit here and just kind of contemplate, plan, look ahead, have this clear mind through the solitude, it's going to show us a lot more about why we did those things. There's a puppy in my room. Why we did those things, and how we can go about making a better future for ourselves through having these healthier connections. You see how, oh wow, I didn't realize this ever before. He's like in a bunch of flowers. So we have like this, it might even honestly be a romantic connection here because we have the feminine and the masculine here. But you see how she's flowering these, she's watering these flowers, and then there's a bunch of flowers next to this guy as he's contemplating, and he's got his clear mind, and he's you know, he's not reminiscing, but he's looking at the future, and he's you know, he's not necessarily like hopeful or endearing either. Like, he's just contemplating the future, period, like with a clear mind. When you realize that is the way to go about things, because you're losing grip of the expectations, you're losing grip of the anxiety with those expectations, you're losing grip of, oh, how, if, where, how, when, like all of the overthinking that comes along with you trying to envision success for yourself. Like when you get rid of 455, when you get rid of those ideas and you just let go of that weight that you're putting on your shoulder, like those things will show you like a much more clear, you'll have a clear head to envision, but you'll also be coming through again with a clear mind, a clear frame, a clear foundation, and then you can see how things can work out in different ways. Like there's different ways to build a house. Like there are different ways to build a house. Yes, there's a foundation for everything, and I talk about foundations very, very often because it's very important to understand the symbolism of foundations, because the foundation is where it starts. How you build it is really going to be up to you, because there's a million different ways to build a house, bro. Like, there are a million different ways. You know what? Oh, okay. No, I did pull one more card. I was going to say, let's pull from the Oracle deck to get a little bit more overall clarity. But yeah, look, that was a really good reading. That was a very nice reading, and it shows you like literally what you can expect with 2024, with this new renewed energy and letting go of all these expectations of how things should have played out or how they can play out. When you let go of that, oh gosh, things will come in. Like, the universe is waiting. It is always waiting in the back burner for you. Like, I don't care. I don't care how frustrating that can be, but until you do the work, until you understand and enforce these ideas into your own reality, like practice what you preach, like those things. And by the way, we are reading from the Star Codes Astro deck. This is the Oracle deck we're reading from. When you start realizing that those expectations just put like way more weight on your shoulder, and they don't actually teach you anything. Like having these wants and desires for this reality, that is one thing that is totally like blossoming and great energy to have, but at the same time, like, it's not going to make these things happen necessarily. It's really the aptitude to do better and practice what you preach, bro. Practice what you preach, because those actions will be amplified through all of the work that you did. I mean, I've said that like 12, probably more, probably like 13 times. Wow! See that? Look at that. Change Uranus. We got this energy coming through for some really beautiful change. So, like, 2024 is going to be a very abundant year for all of us that have done the work, but you can see a lot of the things shifting in our immediate paradigm. I know there's always going to be conflict through these cycles. Drink more water. There's always going to be conflict through these cycles, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we aren't here on our own journey. Maybe the rest of the world is still catching up, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we're doing something wrong, we're not doing enough of it. Just because you don't see the world changing immediately on a grand scale doesn't mean that it isn't changing in your immediate life. And honestly, having things change in your immediate life, like I say very often, we mirror in our realities, we reflect in our realities. So when we do better, other people see that energy. And again, monkey see, monkey do. That's how humans are. That's how nature is for a small, that's a little tiny bit of that. But there's a lot more to it than just that. But we do mimic, we do see, we do get influenced, and we do get inspired by other things that we see in our immediate reality. So when we shift those things, we get rid of our old algorithms, we create new accounts, start somewhere fresh, start somewhere new. We focus this energy on something very specific. We surround ourselves with that specific energy. Those things will amplify the change for you. And again, like changing your immediate reality inspires other people to change their reality too, because they see it working out for other people and it works out for you. So again, just understand that like these things, they all happen for a reason, but also you have to let go of some of these things, because they were what was really holding you back. It wasn't them, it wasn't the situation itself, it was really your expectation for the situation to change. So that's when you got to realize that your expectations aren't going to change your reality. It's you that's going to change your reality. So if you see something not aligning for you or with you, around you, with you, like, then you need to remove yourself. You need to get rid of whatever that is that's stagnant. We don't sit in stagnant energy. We don't sit in stagnant water, because first of all, I learned that from TikTok too. It is one of the most dangerous waters that you can stand in because of all the bacteria growth, because it's literally stagnant. Now, if you can conceptualize that and into your own reality, you can see a lot of why toxic negativity and like mold and residue, it all grows on your reality when you keep it at a certain place that is lower than where you should be. Because okay, we can have a very comfortable reality. Whatever reality you want to live in is totally up to you. But when you live in a lower vibration reality, when you're allowing all these people to walk over you, when you're allowing people to influence how you approach life and how you respond or react to life, when you allow these energies in your energy space just because you're okay with it, like those things, okay, like you got to be honest with yourself. When you're saying that it's okay to have those things in your reality because they don't bother you, okay, they are actually still creating conflict in your reality. And you can shift those things. You can have a much more peaceful vibration around you. You can literally have protective energy around you. But it goes back to you and your expectations. Your expectations of what things are going to do around you is really where you need to step back and be like, okay, why am I expecting everything to just fit in my bubble? Because that's not how reality works. That's not how the occult works either. But when I put in healthier boundaries and I realize that, I'm still here in this realm, but my soul is in a different realm and it's guiding me from a higher self. When I realize that we live in two different realities, our current reality and our spiritual reality, like these things connect. So allow yourself a little bit of a higher leveled vibration through having these higher standards and higher boundaries, healthier boundaries. These things will literally lift you up in life. Like, whether you understand it or not, that is not important. But when you take the action, you will see the connection and the response from the reality that you're shifting into. So, like, even if you don't understand why or how it's important, it doesn't matter. But doing these things will shift your reality, and when you see that shift, you will understand it. So don't worry about trying to figure out why you need to do these things to begin with. Just do those things and you will see the results. Okay. That is our message for today. I know it was a little rambly, but I feel like we really got to get on top of ourselves for this next year. Me, myself included, okay? We are getting on top of things. We are transitioning into a new schedule, a new reality for next year, so these things can work themselves out. Like, I was connected and stuck in an old paradigm too. That's why I was probably working a 7-day week. Ooh. But we all have our own responsibilities. So anyway, regardless of what that is, we can still work with what we got. Okay? Work with what you got and make things work. And even if it's not exactly where you want to be, that's not what's important. It's always going to be about the journey. Okay? I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Please hit that like and share and subscribe button, please, and thank you. Bye.